Hello, welcome to another of London Public Library's virtual puppet shows. Today, we will perform The Princess and the Pea, or Let's Sleep on That. We have different book versions of The Princess and the Pea here in the library. As our story begins, a prince and his mother, the queen, are having what's sometimes called a family meeting. So, let's begin.
Once upon a time, there was a prince named Harold. He was the heir to the throne of the kingdom of Lower Crestfallen. The kingdom of Lower Crestfallen used to be called Upper Crestfallen, but Upper Crestfallen had fallen on hard times and was now known as Lower Crestfallen. To make matters worse, Prince Harold had still not found a bride of which his mother, the queen, approved. Although Prince Harold cared greatly about the people of the land, he was in no rush to become king, and certainly in no rush to get married. But his mother said he must do both, and soon. Now the queen loved money and jewels a great deal, and was obsessed with her own private collection. She wanted Harold to marry a real princess, certainly, but she also decreed that his bride should be exceedingly, extraordinarily, extra rich.
Harry, dear, you are 34 years old. It is high time you married. The public expects it. The kingdom demands it. You must go out and find a real princess. Besides, Lower Crestfallen needs a royal coffer infusion. Not only should the princess be a real princess, she must also be rich. This princess must be rich enough to match. No, she must better our royal jewel collection. I do wish I had more rubies. Rubies are lovely, and my favorite precious stone. Now off you go, Harry, dear boy, and find a real princess. And while you are at it, be sure she can show us the money.
But, Mother, I would like to marry a girl because she is the love of my life and not because she's a princess or because she is rich.
Oh, tish, tosh, and rubbish! Only a princess will do for you. Now off you go into the world and find yourself a princess. A rich princess!
So Prince Harold did as he was told. He left home and traveled all over the world to find a rich princess. There were lots of princesses, all right, but it was difficult to find out whether they were real ones. So he returned home without a princess. The queen was terribly disappointed, so she sent out a royal proclamation.
Hear ye, come one, come all, real and really rich princesses. You are invited to apply to be the crown princess of Lower Crestfallen. Make all submissions to the royal house of Lower Crestfallen, care of Her Royal Highness, the Queen. The Queen shall view all applications and make a list of several princesses for Prince Harold to consider. From these he shall choose his bride.
These princesses are all suitable, Harold, but for one thing, sadly, these princesses are rich, but none is rich enough. What is your opinion, Harold?
Well, Mother, let me see. One of the princesses wore far too much pink. One was far too giddy and loud. One was far too shy. One was too sleepy. One ate too fast and too much. One was afraid of dogs and horses. One was way too beautiful and, well, just plain boring. And one was an actor. Please don't make me marry any of them.
Oh, tish, tosh, and rubbish, dear boy. You know, dear boy, they just don't make princesses like they used to. There are no princesses left that are true princesses from their heads to the very tip of their rich toes. Oh, well, never fear, my dear Harry. One day when we are least expecting it, something will turn up on our doorstep.
Oh dear. I fear at this rate I shall never find a princess that pleases both of us. None of them feels right to me. How will I tell a true, good-hearted princess and intelligent from all the pretenders? I do so want to marry the love of my life. Well, at least so far, Mother, they have all been rich.
Yes, dear, but not rich enough. We shall try again tomorrow, dear boy. Tonight there is a bad storm forecast, so we must stay inside and count our coins and arrange the royal jewels by order of size and color.
Very well, Mother, as you wish, but there must be more to life than riches. I love to just sit and read, maybe play a board game or indoor croquet. For now, I should take the dogs for a walk.
Oh, tish, tosh, and bother! Not tonight, my dear. Not on a night like this. Come along.
Yes, Mother, as you wish.
Lightning flashed on the castle walls, and the wind howled through the crenellations along the top of the castle's parapet. The rain came down in torrents, flooding the courtyard. Everyone had locked themselves safely inside. Well, not everyone. While the storm crashed and clattered over the castle, there came a knock at the castle door. The queen went to see who it was.
Why, who are you? What are you doing out in this terrible weather?
I'm Princess Ruby. I was on my way home when my carriage broke down. My driver left on horseback for help and has never returned. I'm all alone and seeking shelter from the storm. Might I impose upon your royal household's hospitality for the night? I've been walking for a very long time. I'm soaking wet. I'm very cold. My overnight bag's so heavy with rain.
Oh my! I don't know. Look at your bedraggled self. You say you are a princess. You don't look much like a princess to me. I wonder. I think the so-called princess is an imposter, and only after the royal jewels. Oh, and my handsome son, Harold. I must hatch a plan to make sure she doesn't stay very long. Just look at your scraggly hair, and you are tracking mud on the castle floor. My word, not much of a princess, if you ask me. More like a royal disgrace you are. Well, really.
Oh, Mother, do leave the poor girl alone. If she says she is a princess, then a princess she must be. We can't turn away someone in need. Come in, come in. We were just about to dine, weren't we, Mother?
Yes, I suppose we were. What is your name, girl?
My name is Princess Ruby.
Oh, what a precious name.
My father says I am the most precious of all his rubies.
Tish, tosh, and applesauce. You look more like a drowned rat to me than a precious gem. But do come along, and do watch where you step. All that rainwater, dreadful. Now then, I shall, or someone shall, have to clean this up, you know. It just doesn't dry up on its own, for heaven's sake.
That evening at the royal table, the prince was intrigued by this mysterious stranger and wanted to learn more about her. As the evening wore on, the prince found that despite his mother's first impressions, the princess possessed genuine beauty and a sparkling wit. She wasn't too thin. She wasn't afraid of dogs and horses. She didn't wear silly clothes, and she did not speak followed by high-pitched giggles. She loved a good game of indoor croquet, and she was not too beautiful. Oh, and she wasn't an actor. In fact, the prince thought she was just right. In all his days, Prince Harold had never met anyone as enchanting and wonderful to be with as Princess Ruby. As the evening continued, the princess was also charmed by Prince Harold. She had never met a prince who was not only handsome, but also intelligent and knew a thing or two about a thing or two. The queen said nothing during the royal meal. She did observe, however, that Prince Harold appeared to be captivated by Princess Ruby. But the queen remained very suspicious of this so-called princess.
Enough of all this frivolity and conversation. We shall continue tomorrow. Now I must go and prepare the guest room, or someone shall, for the, princess. Come with me a moment, dear boy. Darling, I can't have you marry just anyone. A royal princess must be truly sensitive and, of course, exceedingly, extraordinarily, extra rich. But not to worry, I have an exceedingly, extraordinarily, extra brilliant plan. With this brilliant plan of mine, we shall find out if indeed this so-called Princess Ruby is the genuine article or a rube.
And just what is this exceedingly, extraordinarily, extra brilliant plan, Mother? And how does it work? How does it involve this lovely Princess Ruby?
Well, I shall take all the bedding off the bedstead, or someone shall, and put a pea on the bottom.
A pea, Mother? A green pea? The kind I pick off my dinner plate so that they don't touch my potatoes?
Yes, a pea indeed. Now stop interrupting, dear. This is a tried and true method of testing real princesses, which I read about in a recent edition of Unscientific American on a Facebook post. Now then, I shall, or someone shall, take 10 mattresses and lay them on the pea. On all this Ruby shall sleep tonight. If she sleeps well, then she is indeed a fraud. It is a foolproof plan, to be sure. By morning we shall know if she is indeed a real princess or not. My sense is our so-called princess will sleep until noon. With that, we shall prove that she is not a real princess.
Soon the princess was informed by the queen that the guest room was ready and it was time to retire. The queen gave Princess Ruby a glass of warm milk, or someone did, and took her along to the guest room. Thank you very much, Your Majesty. I am sure I shall sleep very well tonight.
Yes, I certainly hope so, my dear.
Oh my, this is more like a mountain than a bed. There must be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 mattresses on this bed. But I am very tired. And judging by the number of mattresses, I should be very comfortable. The princess prepared for bed, brushed her teeth and hair, and put her overnight bag beside the bed. She climbed up to the top of the bed and lay down. She sighed a deep sigh. Oh my goodness! Oh, well, if the cat likes the bed, it must be very comfortable. But I can't get comfortable. I'm tired, but all I seem to be doing is flipping and flopping about. I will try and lie on my tummy. No good. Fine, I will try lying on my back. Nope. I think I am going mad. If I didn't know better, I'd swear there was a rock the size of Mount Everest pressing into my back. Surely with all these soft mattresses, I should be sleeping like a log. I wonder if I might have dropped one of my rubies and it rolled under the mattress. Oh dear. I'll try scrunching up my eyes. The next morning, the princess felt terribly unrested. Her eyes were red and felt like they were full of grains of sand. The Queen and Prince Harold were waiting when Princess Ruby came down for breakfast. The Queen was anxious to see how well her plan had worked.
Did you sleep well, my dear?
Oh, not too badly, I suppose, thank you.
Yes, just as I thought. Was the bed comfortable?
Oh, it was a lovely bed. So many mattresses.
Indeed, yes.
But to tell you the honest truth, Well, I slept very badly, I'm afraid. I don't know why.
Really?
Yes, really. I cannot tell you how I suffered. I'm covered in bruises and I'm sore all over. I scarcely closed my eyes all night. I know it sounds silly, but it felt like I was lying on something small, round, and very hard. It kept me awake all night long. I thought for a while that one of my miniature rubies might have rolled out of my overnight bag and gotten under the mattress, causing all this uncomfortableness. This morning my whole body is black and blue. I'm sorry to seem ungrateful.
What did you say, my dear?
Oh, I said, I'm sorry to seem ungrateful. And that I had a terrible night. Scarcely closed my eyes, and this morning my whole body is black and blue.
No, no, dear. That was simply a pea I put under your mattresses as a test to see if you were a real princess. For only a real princess would be so sensitive as to feel a pea through all those mattresses. But what am I more interested in is in the mention of a ruby?
Mother, please, no more questions. Princess Ruby has passed your royal test. She is indeed a real princess. Princess Ruby, if you will have me as your husband, you shall be my bride, the crown princess of Lower Crestfallen. Oh, Princess Ruby, I knew right away you were a real princess. I also knew right away that you were the real princess for me. You are simply a gem.
Oh, Harold! Would it matter if I were not a real princess?
No, not at all, for I have fallen in love with you, real princess or not. Ruby, will you marry me?
I think I'd like that very much, Harry. You are by far the most interesting prince I have ever had the pleasure of getting to know. I too have fallen in love with you. Yes, I shall marry you.
Just one doggone minute here. Queen in the room? Just who are you exactly, young lady?
Well, as I said when I arrived last night, my name is Princess Ruby. My official title is Princess Ruby des Petits Pois the First. And to answer your question about the rubies, Your Majesty, well, rubies are my parents' favorite precious gem. My mother and father, Queen Opal and King Jules, named me after their favorite gem, the ruby. But we have loads of other gems too. Diamonds, sapphires, emeralds, amethysts, alexandrite, garnets, the list goes on. I shall inherit them all next month when I come of age.
Oh my goodness, we must immediately make plans for a royal wedding. My darling girl, come along with me. We really must talk about an engagement ring. Do you have anything suitable?
Well, the Queen of Crestfallen, who was pea-green with envy, nearly fainted dead away at the news of Princess Ruby des Petits Pois and her inheritance. The two young people talked and laughed about anything and everything. They were simply enchanted with each other, and the castle walls rang with their laughter. The young royals were like two peas in a pod. The Queen gave her royal consent, and the Prince and Princess were married. It was a day of pure delight. The entire kingdom was invited to the wedding. For those who could not attend, the royal wedding was podcast throughout the land.
Hear ye, hear ye. The pea has been placed in this glass case. It shall be forever housed in the Royal Museum from this day forward, where all the people can see it. If you don't believe me, you can go see it for yourself.
And that's our story of The Princess and the Pea. We hope you enjoyed it. Our puppets, props, and stage designs are all made by the staff of the Children's Library. In the past, our puppet shows were performed before a live audience. For our virtual puppet shows, we wanted backgrounds for different scenes. So Teresa Adams-Barrick and Stacy Vander Vlag made the wonderful backgrounds you saw today. Our puppeteers were Alan Thompson, Ruth Major, and Ellie Contursi. Alan Thompson was also our technical support. And I am Mark Richardson. You can watch this show as many times as you want on YouTube and Facebook. Until next time, keep reading fairy tales. Goodbye.